Howdy, I got to check out the demo for Casebook 1899 to Leipzig Murders. That's a heck of a title. This is a classic point-and-click adventure-style game where you're playing detective and you have to solve cases. So if you like the Sherlock Holmes games, if you like the classic point-and-click adventure, this is going to fulfill that niche for you for sure. It looks like an older style game. It's kind of got low-res graphics. It feels like you're playing a game from the early 90s. And you're playing this character who's trying to solve cases, and you're also talking to another character. It seems like an older woman of sorts that you're talking to, and you're explaining these cases and what happened. And depending on how you solve the case, at the end, the person you're talking with, she'll give you her opinion, and her opinion will tell you how well you may or may not have solved the case. So as you're going through this game, you play it with a mouse. It is point and click. You use the mouse to interact with stuff. You have a little journal that you use to keep notes. And what you do is, as you're looking through the environment and talking with people, you get more notes added into this journal, and then from those notes, you can make conclusions. And then from those conclusions, you can then decide a specific outcome of what you think happened. So this is a game where you want to collect as many clues as you can and talk to as many people as you can. There is a special tool in the game where you can actually see everything you can interact with just in case you miss something. So as someone who plays these games, that's kind of nice because I always have that fear that I might miss something. And so for the game to give me the option to kind of see everything, is it cheating a little bit? Yes, but it's more of just like doubling down to make sure I'm getting the most information I can before I make the right decision. And I played through one case. That's what the demo experience was. The previous experience I had was one case, and it took me to a few different locations. I started in the detective's office, and then from there, I went to the main crime scene, and then from there, I went to another location. And what was cool was when you unlocked a new location, you could bring up the map and kind of travel from one location to the next. And then once you're in that area, you go looking around, you go talking with people, and then that conversation might lead you to double back to another person and follow up on it. And every once in a while, there might be a little environmental puzzle or clue you need to solve. You might find a way to get an item that you can't reach or access an area you couldn't access before. So you have to look around not just to find clues, but to find tools and items you need to use to get you even more clues that you wouldn't be able to normally obtain. So there's a little bit of a puzzle solving element there. It's not too overly complicated. It's more like find this item. So for the case that I had to solve, a person had died. There was an incident involving a vehicle. And you're like, did this person intentionally do this on purpose? Or was there more afoot here? Was there something more sinister happening? And I think you can kind of guess where it goes. And by the time I got to the end, I realized I might have not figured everything quite out. It gets to the point where they gave me an option of who I want to choose to be the culprit, but it seemed like there was another option there that I didn't fully access, and I'm not sure what I missed. Even with that tool I mentioned earlier, for some reason I still missed something, and I'm not sure what it was. And so I kind of just went, oh, I'll just go with this ending just to see. And then so what could happen is that you might not get the 100% ending. You might not correctly solve the case, but it will resolve itself based on your decision. So I picked a decision. I'm like, I think it's this person. And then when I went and talked to that older woman from before, then she gave me her opinion of like, oh, I see kind of how you got there, but are you really sure this was the right person? Maybe it still could have been this other person, and that's the game telling me, oh, I might have not picked the correct person, or I picked the halfway sort of conclusion to it, and I'm like, dang it. And then part of me knew, like playing out, I was like, I had a gut feeling that I didn't quite miss it, and the game reminded me of that. So the game will kind of put you in your place there. And overall, the experience wasn't too long. It was just like a little over an hour, I would say, playing the game. If that, it was really quick. I like the fact that the case didn't feel like it dragged on too long. Just hit a couple spots and go. Again, I don't know how many cases there are total in this experience, but it feels like it's a good hop in, do a case or two, and hop out. Won't take too much of your time, but I feel like maybe the experience itself won't be super long. It was good because I just started playing the last 2 Sherlock Holmes games, and I've enjoyed these updated experiences. But as you know, I've also recently reviewed a couple point-and-click adventure games, and it was nice to have a combo of the two, and to go a little bit more simple with the detective work of it. And I enjoyed my time with it. I'd be curious to see what the rest of the experience is going to be like. So I would keep an eye out on this one. I definitely think this might go under the radar. I haven't really heard anybody else talk about this game. So if you like that detective mystery, if you like point-and-click adventure and something that's not too overly complicated, then keep your eye out on this one. I played it on Steam, so you'll be able to check out there when it fully releases.